Hello everybody, Joe Domino here, your director of golf here at Glen Eagles Country Club. Once again, another little golf tip to help you play better, score better, and most of all, have more fun. Here we are on the 16th green of the Victory Golf Course. I've got Matt. Matt, good to see you once again.
Nice to see you as well.
Matt's going to talk to us and show us a little bit about what he does when he has a long putt. And then after Matt, we're going to do a little thing. We'll bring Jake in the same on some shorter putts. We'll talk to Jake in a minute. But Matt's going to go over some ideas of his setup, how he reads the green a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, which is huge, right?
Absolutely. Big,
so,
very big.
And as we all know, there's two different kind of putters, right? You got a speed putter and you got a lag putter, you know? So you talk about, you see that in people when they're putting, you know? They either soft or they bang that thing, and it's okay. But I'm going to let Matt go ahead and take it. Matt, go ahead and talk about your putting.
All right, Joe. So we got about right here, you know, obviously we have a lag putt. It's probably, you know, 30 feet. But what I like to think about is obviously your setup, right? For me, I'm more of a feel putter, right? Okay, I like to feel it. I like to pick my line. I like to see if it's uphill or downhill, obviously. So when we get to this ball, you want to see if it's uphill or downhill. I like to pick a spot, maybe 5 or 10 feet in front of me, and I want to go ahead and I want to use the left side of my body, as I would say, where you go ahead and put the weight more on, a little bit on your left side, which kind of locks you in, for me at least, locks me into the putt. And then I also want to match, right? I want to match my backswing or my backstroke to my follow through. I don't want a short backstroke and a long follow through. I want it to be nice and fluid.
Matt, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
When you have a long putt like this, when you take that practice stroke, is it based on the stroke you're trying to simulate for the long putt?
Usually for me, Joe, yes. Okay. Is I try to simulate how far, for instance, since this is a lag putt, I want to feel like this putter, right, goes further back and further through.
Cool.
Whereas a shorter putt would be the opposite.
Okay, because sometimes you'll see players will stand over this 30-footer or they'll stand over a 3-footer and they're taking the same little,
correct,
you know, maybe, or they're taking the reverse. They got a 3-footer and they're getting this big long. So no, that's good to let them know that that's what you do.
Absolutely. You know, and some people might be different, but for me especially, I think it's big for anybody, right, to kind of mimic how far they have, right, in their putting stroke. So that's taking a longer backstroke and finishing through.
Perfect.
Okay, so like I said before, it's set up. I want it a little bit on my left side. Okay, feel like that weight's about 70%, you can call it. I picked my line about 5 or 10 feet in front of me and want to make sure my arms are a little bit, you know, looser, right? Allows for your shoulders to go ahead and be nice and fluid through your stroke. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this for you. The other thing is, some people's head, when they putt, moves, some people's don't. So would you agree with that, Joe?
Sure, sure.
You know, yeah. And I think that's a big thing. I think some people get carried away and trying to keep their head very still.
Then you feel like you got a neck brace on.
Correct,
right?
And they're not focusing really on their line or their putting stroke. So for me, my head tends to move a little bit, but I'm more focused on, obviously, how far I'm hitting the putt, right? And my line. So again, weight a little bit on the left-hand side, right? A little bit of leaning. It'll feel like you're leaning into the putt, and then a nice solid backstroke and follow through.
And you can see how the distance on both sides of the ball were very similar.
Correct.
You know,
and I think it gives you a nice feel, right? It's more fluid, right, with the putting stroke.
100%. Do you, when you have a shorter putt or a longer putt, do you do anything with your width? Is your width always consistent, the same, or?
For me, it's a little, I'm pretty consistent. I get a little bit wider on longer putts, right? I try to, obviously, like I said before, is those arms feel like they're a little bit more relaxed, right? I see a lot of people get them tucked in here, right? Sure, you want to have them tucked, but if you have them too tucked, it's like it's too tight, you know?
Right. Now,
for me.
Do you feel that you take your hands out of it and just try to feel arms and shoulders, or do you?
I do. I feel like I definitely feel like putting for me and for a lot of people is shoulders. Your shoulders are like a pendulum. They rock back and forth, back and through, right? It really keeps the stroke fluid, right? A nice fluid stroke. Instead of, you know, what we call a pip and pop, I guess you could say, is short and follow through. You see some people do that, but they get very inconsistent with their putting. Do you agree?
Yeah, because they get a little shorter sometimes, and then it's like they explode. And
Yeah.
it's very hard to get that feel of what the ball's doing off the face, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is the putter that Matt is using, and you notice there's many different designs on putters, as we know. You have where the shaft is on the heel, okay? So Matt, why do you like this putter, because being on the heel?
I'm more of a straight back, straight through putter, right? This is a face balance putter, right? So that allows me in my stroke, right, to take the stroke back and through, right, pretty straight, right? Instead of people that like blades or blade preference, right? That allows for more putting, you know, putting on an arc, right?
Yes.
So for my stroke, this actually fits my stroke perfectly.
And I think you'll see a lot of these putters on tour,
Absolutely.
because that's what a lot of the guys feel, that kind of straight back, straight through.
Yes, yes,
okay.
they will.
And you'll see the ones that have the shaft is in the center.
Center shaft.
And there's many different types of putters. And once again, it's based on preference. It's based on length. What's your length?
33 usually.
So he's like a 33-inch length. Some people like to go to up to 35, for example. It all depends on if you stand over a little bit, you're a little bit upright. Also, if we talked about grip, on how you grip the putter. Some people are, right, left hand low, right? They go left hand low.
Like the claw. You
Right,
know?
right. A little bit of the claw when they putt.
Some people like the 10-finger grip. You know?
So and so that's all more what? Just preference
It's all
of feel.
Preference and feel, absolutely.
So it's well, listen. There's because your buddy's a 10-finger or a conventional grip. It doesn't mean you can't be left hand low. So whatever feels comfortable is the most important. So let's get out there and hit some putts. And thank you very much for your time.